Hey everyone, hope you're having a good weekend. CMG NKE TWTR and GoPro here on the daily and weekly time frame. So CMG lost that middle Bollinger Band on Thursday, saw some follow through to the downside on Friday, but the bulls did buy that dip, defending this support 411.62. We now have a higher low at 412.41. Bulls must see a green day on Monday to confirm this bullish reversal candlestick and get back above this middle Bollinger Band. So we have resistance at 417.25 and 420.21. Need a green day, need to see follow through, and then we'll be looking for this range to stay pretty tight as it has been. You can see the weekly time frame, the bulls still held that 50-week moving average, bouncing off it, back testing it, and holding it 2 weeks in a row. And we do have an inside candlestick this week compared to last week. So this coming week, we'll be watching the range of that candlestick, and the bulls want to see a break of 425.58 to resume their strength here going forward. If we lose this middle or this 50-day moving average, if we lose this 50-week moving average support, we're looking back down at the weekly middle Bollinger Band in that $400 psychological support level. So the bulls need that follow through after this bullish reversal candlestick. And if we get that, we will be looking at a very tight range heading into the rest of the week. NKE was a really nice top fishing play. Double top, 58.24, 58.25. You would exit if 58.25 broke to the upside if you were making a bearish position. And we got that breakdown on some decent bear volume, and we broke 56.68 support. So that is a lower high and a lower low. We did still close a couple pennies above that support level, but the momentum is favoring the bears right now with that close near the low of the day. So if we get that more convincing low, this middle Bollinger Band is going to be in the low $56 range this coming week to start the week. So that's going to be our next target for support. And then I'm looking down at 55.69 consolidation low back from mid-February. Weekly time frame is a bearish candlestick with that double top, with 2 weeks in a row showing that double top and a loss of the upper Bollinger Band in breakout mode and a close fairly close to the low of the week. So keep an eye out for another red week this coming week. That would confirm this reversal candlestick, and it would keep this lower high pattern in play. 59.76 and now 58.25. If we see further follow through to the downside, we will be looking for the bears to resume as we have been. And you can see every time we hit our lower high, it's followed by a lot of red continuing this trend. So not saying we're going to see all that kind of red, but right now the momentum is favoring the bears, and we will know when to exit as a bear if we break that double top back to the upside. Bearish MACD cross following through as well. Twitter weakness, rejecting from the exponential resistance yet again. This now makes the entire week where we rejected from the 4-period exponential moving average, and this now makes 3, 6, 8 days in a row rejecting from those levels. Big upper wick of profit taking. Support is 15.68, 15.59, and 15.50. The bears are still in control. Weekly chart is showing weakness as well, also rejecting from weekly exponential resistance, and 15.50 is the line in the sand the bulls must hold. GoPro, awesome follow through to the downside. Some people that don't like charts would argue and say, oh, it was just the downgrade that led to this. But I've been watching these downgrades and upgrades come out every day on all kinds of dozens and dozens of tickers for the past few years. And in my opinion, there is no doubt in my mind that whoever is issuing these, obviously it's banks and companies issuing these upgrades and downgrades, but they are looking at charts, because way too often, it's not a coincidence at this point, we see a clear resistance level and a downgrade is issued, or a clear loss of support and a downgrade is issued, or vice versa with strength and an upgrade. So this is what, in my opinion, we had the clear break of the higher low pattern with the close on Thursday down below 932. That's your bearish signal. We lost the higher low pattern. Then we get the downgrade, the gap down open, and an all-out dump. So this is playing out perfectly. We were looking for a bearish entry because, again, as I've been saying in these videos, if the market is at the strongest that we can see it in recent history, and GoPro is only amounting a weak bounce, an oversold bounce, what's going to happen when the market consolidates again? And the market has hardly consolidated, but it did consolidate towards the end of this week, and we saw this weakness in GoPro. So we're looking at 877, 862, and 854 all-time low as the only supports left on GoPro. We are potentially going to see a new all-time low if the bears keep up this momentum. So the weekly time frame shows that weakness. Yet another lower high has been hit, and it's all about these supports, 854, 862, 862. So there is some decent support in this area, but it's make or break in the coming 2 weeks as to whether or not the bulls can hold this level, because we are anticipating the bears are at least going to give a shot to the most recent support of 862. Have to keep an eye on the hourly time frame. We're likely getting oversold on that hourly, so we'll be watching if we get an hourly oversold bounce, keeping an eye on just how strong that bounce is. But as of right now, this is exactly the follow through that the bears were looking for after losing the higher low pattern and losing 932 support. So I appreciate you watching. I hope you have a great rest of your weekend, and we'll continue to check back in on these names. NKE and GoPro both had a little double top by a penny and then saw some weakness. GoPro was 974 and 975, and NKE, again, those levels were 58.24 and 58.25. See you next week. Blah, blah, blah.